Today's luncheon is made possible by our visionary sponsor, Overlake Medical Center and Clinics, whose generous support means hope and stability for the men served by CFH. Proud sponsors also include Puget Sound Energy and United Way of King County. Thank you to all of our supporters. We could not do our work without you. Welcome to Reuniting Family, the annual fundraising luncheon for congregations for the homeless. I'm your host, Sterling Benson, and I am so grateful to be standing here in front of you today on behalf of this life-changing organization. I am so proud to have been part of the luncheon for the past 12 years when the very first one was held. It's been an amazing journey to see the community help thousands of homeless men on the East Side achieve stable living. The past year has been exceptional as CFH faced increased demands and services due to the pandemic. They have rallied together and been on the front lines addressing the systems that need support as we face a crisis in homelessness. We hope that you will join us today through your support in making a lasting difference in the lives of thousands of men who turn to CFH for help. It would not be a CFH event without first hearing from our Executive Director, David Bowling.
Men struggle with the message that they are meant to take care of themselves, do it independently, and by the time they show up on our doorstep, they've often exhausted all of their resources. And I see them even struggling with self-esteem and loss of identity that comes with living on the streets and disconnecting from what it was to be housed before. I find that one of the common threads for the men we serve is what I call often relational poverty. They just do not have a support network that can be there to catch them when they fall. Reconnecting to your community, to your support systems, and reconnecting to your family is often one of the best ways to get back to personal and housing stability. So part of what we try to do at CFH is help to see who is your family, is that a healthy relationship, and how can we help make that dynamic healthy for you so that they can come back into your life and be a healthy support for you, and you can be a healthy support for the family. Homelessness is not something that the men alone have caused. It's something as a society that we have systems that we could improve. We need to look at funding in order to address this issue, and we need every sector of this community to come together. The nonprofits, the business sector, the government, citizens in your homes, we need to come together and collectively send the message of you still have worth, you still have dignity. Let's work together so that you can move forward and get you back to a sense of meaning and purpose and housing stability. We see hundreds of men each year leaving homelessness forever because of this, but we can do better. Thank you for joining us today. All of this could not be possible without your support. Back to you, Sterling.
Thank you, David. Since 1993, Congregations for the Homeless has been a launching pad for men facing homelessness to gain stable and independent living. After coming to CFH, many of the men have never needed homeless services again. Today, our goal is to raise $185,000 of critical funds for CFH to continue their work. On your screen is the link I am asking you to contribute at, www.cfhomeless.org/give2021. The collective impact of what we do will change the lives of men, their families, and communities. I would now like to introduce you to Caleb.
One of the stereotypes about homeless people is I think people think that they're just these kind of scumbags or drug addicts or alcoholics, whatever. But being here has really showed me that actually most of the homeless people here are just average people who have just gone through some dark or rough times, who didn't have enough money to support themselves. I was 18 and unfortunately, I didn't find any work. It's just harder than it was before the pandemic. A lot of small businesses, like coffee shops or whatever, still closed. One of the things I would love to see this community do is like address, the lack of housing in this area. So people actually have like a place to stay.
Camping out and sleeping.
I'm actually a part of this Bible study. It's like a daily thing. We basically just gather around, we just talk about our lives and how to apply, spiritual principles to our lives. This is my first shelter I've been at. The employees here, they actually genuinely care about the people staying here. It's not just a shelter. I formed some really good, I won't even call it friendship, I'll call it brothership, with some people here. It's a cool place here.
For the next 20 minutes, you will hear many stories of hope from men like Caleb. When you give today, you'll be providing essential support so CFH can provide the individualized wraparound services for each of the men to achieve their hopes of stability and family. Now, I would like to introduce you to Kayla Hodges.
Thank you, Sterling. When a man is living on the streets, wondering where he'll sleep or what he'll have to eat, he doesn't have the time, the energy, or even the means to reach out to his family. He is disconnected and without support. For so many people experiencing homelessness, there's loss everywhere. Loss of income, loss of car, food stability. But for so many, the impact of losing their social circle and family takes an entirely different toll. They have no relationship, no support system to lean on. At CFH, I see so many men who come in with the goal of reconnecting with their friends and family and back into society. They are craving connection and a sense of belonging that we all deserve and desire. Family looks different to every man coming to CFH. For someone who doesn't have family to reach out to, they may find family here. I see the community growing as I watch the men teach each other, stand together, peer mentor, and lift each other up as brothers and community members. Some men are fathers reconnecting with their children. Some are sons calling to tell their parents they're all right. Some are calling their spouses, others are calling their siblings. Someone, somewhere, is missing every single one of the men at CFH. Watching them reconnect with their families is as special as watching the connections form within these walls. Your financial support makes these dreams a reality. Every contribution helps each of the men at CFH get one step closer to finding a place to sleep and receive the wraparound services they need to work towards stability. It also supports the intangible, the human connections that we all need to thrive. Now I'd like you to hear from one of the men at CFH.
I never thought I'd become homeless. I've got a job. I've always had a job, a place to live. But my mom developed dementia. I realized I had to take her in and give her personal care. It was overwhelming. I did the best I could for about a month and then realized I couldn't take days off from work. So one of my two jobs eventually let me go, and I was having trouble paying rent. So the state took custody of her before I had a chance to really know what was going on. They committed my mom, I lost my apartment. I started to drink pretty heavily because of the grieving process. So I sat in my van, I lived in it, I had a mattress, and I drank every day, whether it was after work or I've got the day off. Some of my neighbors had told me about CFH, and it was a godsend. I was able to stop drinking, I kept my job, saved money, and I'm just chugging along. Sometimes I'm embarrassed that I should be in a better position, but CFH gave me a second chance. That's what I needed, because if you don't have immediate family, who do you have left? They're basically my family. They've made me a happier, better person. I don't know what I would have done without them. I mean, I could cry. They really took you in like family, treated me with respect. They really basically saved my life.
It is men like Steve that inspired a group of East Side citizens to start congregations for the homeless in 1993. Since then, CFH has helped thousands of men go from homelessness to stability and independent living and housing. The vision of this organization is to end homelessness on the East Side, a vision you can help us make possible. So we are so thrilled to announce a challenge match. All gifts of $250 or more will be matched up to $40,000 thanks to Steve and Charlotte Roberts, the Benson families, Claudia Browers and Dave Holzbug, and Pat and Barb McDermott. Please go to the link you see on the screen to make your gift. This match will help CFH go the extra mile to help each man coming through their doors. Men like Bruce, who have overcome tremendous obstacles to achieve their dreams to reunite with family.
It's the most terrible thing that you probably could experience. Just getting up off maybe a bench. That's how you start your morning, with people running, going by you, going to work. Nowhere you can wash your clothes or take a shower or brush your teeth. Take a good look at us first, opposed to thinking sometimes people just are homeless because they want to be. It's not true. Well, I've been on the streets since I was 14. My mom came from drug abuse herself, which left me and my brother pretty much out there to fend for ourselves. I interacted with gangs first. Started, eventually getting into the bigger things like hustling, selling drugs. I mean, I didn't have no means of support. I've been to the penitentiary 6 times. Seen a lot of my friends get life or die in the street. I either had to change my life or end up either dead or in the penitentiary for the rest of my life, too.
The first time I met Bruce, he was a little disheveled and somewhat down at the time. He was coming to find out what services we had to offer.
It was really a surprise to me when I first got here. I wasn't trusting anybody, but it just looked so good, and they already had people here that was going through the program like I was.
My whole job is to sit and listen, hear their story, see where they're trying to go, and sort of be that GPS for them. Prior to them sending it. Once we develop that plan, they push in the coordinates, and we go about doing the step-by-step things it takes to help them achieve their goals.
Showed me a different approach to a big problem that I had. Everything was just wide open for me. I was really able to breathe, without relapsing or thinking about somebody offering me some drugs, Getting away from downtown Seattle is what really saved my life.
As I got to know Bruce better and we started doing some therapy sessions, he started opening up about his addiction and how he has tried oftentimes to break his addiction and relapsed again, as a lot of people do.
My nickname should have been Relapse, But they stayed with me. They knew I didn't really have an opportunity when I was little. I didn't know anything else.
Okay, my name is Bruce.
He was determined to break the cycle this time. And so we worked with him. We have a Serenity program here. We also worked with him in terms of getting him to treatment.
I received everything, housing, medical, was able to go to the gym. I volunteered so to keep my day busy. Too much time on my hands. I could have relapsed at any time. So I wanted to do more positive things.
Stick out anywhere I want. So yes.
They offered pretty much everything that a person needs to be normal. Because coming from where I come from, it's not a normal way to be.
He started saying he wanted to get back with his family and wanted to have a stable place where he could have them over.
I couldn't go back and interact with any of them until I got my life right.
When he finally called me and told me that you guys were doing this for him, it was, man, I pretty much cried because I don't know how many times I went looking for my dad to see where he's at or calling around. You know, it was scary. So to have you guys in this life, it took a big stress off my shoulder.
It changes your life. There's really no other way to sum it up. The people that I came in here with, they've all branched out and have apartments and jobs through here. You know, so that's amazing. It's like starting over but not making the same mistakes.
Good shot.
I got my grandkids all the time, so I'm trying to guide them to a different path. No fighting, try to express yourself through conversation, do good in school, always make sure you respect your parents, you know, things like that.
It's awesome. We talk about everything. We do stuff with my kids all the time. I never really got to experience the dad I wanted to experience, but to have my kids experience that is lovely.
A lot of people don't give you a chance when you got a record like mine, but they gave me a chance. They showed me something I never seen. So I can do the grandpa thing and be good with that.
I hope Bruce's story will inspire you to dig deep today. Think about the gift you made last year and please consider doubling it. If you are new to the CFH Luncheon, please consider making a gift of $250 or more and take advantage of our generous challenge match. It takes all of us to solve homelessness on the East Side, committed staff, volunteers, and community leaders. One such partner is Bellevue's former mayor and now King County Council member. I am so pleased to welcome Claudia Balducci. Claudia?
Thank you, Sterling. As a resident of the East Side, I know how vital the work of CFH is to create lasting change in our community. I was so inspired by Bruce's story, which shows that when a man experiences homelessness, he's not the only one who suffers. These men are somebody's son, father, grandfather, brother, friend. They are all of our neighbors. Homelessness does not happen in isolation. And it takes a community effort to do the work of moving men into stable living. Today, I hope you will be inspired to give generously for Bruce, but also for the men who are still in great need of the help CFH can provide. Men like Caleb, like Steve, like many others you have heard from today and will hear from today. Your gift will not only help to reunite families, but it will make for a better community for us all. Thank you so much for your generosity. Back to you, Sterling.
Thank you, Claudia. Your commitment to CFH is inspiring. Please help us reach today's $185,000 fundraising goal by contributing to the link you see below, www.cfhomeless.org/give2021. If you happen to work for a company that does corporate matching, please make sure to take advantage of that as well. I would now like you to hear from Paul.
I got laid off because of the pandemic, so I couldn't afford rent, and that's what led me here. I never expected to be homeless, and the people that I've met here, they're from all walks of life. I think most or all of them, you know, they weren't expecting to be put in a position where they're homeless. I believe my experience at CFH has been incredible. I've met a lot of friends here. The food has been great. The site manager is always very helpful, and everything's very organized and well set up, and I feel like everybody understands what they need to do. Shortly before I came to the shelter, I separated with my wife, and I have plans to try to make amends and make the situation better. I meet with my family, my dad and my sister, maybe twice a month, sometimes once, but we do keep in touch, and they're always keeping tabs on what I'm doing, and So yeah, there's definitely a plan to reunite with my family. I think it just takes a little bit of time. So I feel very fortunate and blessed to be here.
One of the things I have always appreciated about CFH is their approach. Each man and their journey is unique. As such, the services are individualized so each man can achieve their specific goals and dreams of stability and community. At this time, I would like to introduce you to one of our case managers, Mike Moberly. Mike runs a program created for those men at CFH who need help in overcoming addiction or mental health challenges.
Thank you, Sterling. Many of our clients who come to CFH have lost their support network, including the relationship with their family, their friends, and their community. Much of the time, this has happened in part either because of substance abuse or mental health issues or both. The Serenity program at CFH was created to help clients who want to overcome their addiction or mental health issues. This program gives men community and support when they need it most. The clients run their own AA-style meetings, and the staff is here to connect them to treatment programs and mental health professionals. I want to tell you about Mark, who illustrates just how powerful and life-changing the Serenity program can be. He came to us in November from Ohio, suffering from schizophrenia and a meth heroin addiction. He had lost several jobs, sold most of his valuables, had been kicked out of his apartment by his girlfriend, was forbidden from seeing or talking to their daughter, and his parents and siblings had cut off all contact with them. Within a week of joining us, Mark decided he wanted to turn his life around and join the CFH Serenity program. A few days later, we had Mark in a 30-day inpatient drug treatment and mental health program, which he successfully completed. On his return to the shelter, he dove into the Serenity program completely. His progress and participation in the program was truly wonderful to watch and inspiring to the other clients in the program. He is now living with his parents and working with a family therapist to rebuild his relationship with his girlfriend. And he gets to see his daughter every day. And he is still sober. He has come a long way thanks to the Serenity program and continues to make progress. I am so inspired by the clients who come to CFH, ready to make lasting changes in their lives. Your support today helps to give so many men a second chance to get sober, to find a stable living, to reunite with family. Not everyone at CFH needs the Serenity program, but they all have hopes and dreams of healing and finding community.
My mother died back in 2018, and it was devastating enough that I lost everything. I lost the car, my house, my health deteriorated, and so I came out to Seattle for a fresh start. I've been to a lot of shelters, and this is easily the best shelter that I've ever been. I've been here for about a year and already have housing possibly lined up. So where I was before, that was like 3 or 4 years away, if that. You know, it's like people actually listen. It's true. They've become my family, and I'm kind of pessimistic. So I mean, it's really hard for me to really accept anything, any kind of, handout or just people just being decent. And yeah, they've become the family that I thought I lost.
I hope the stories you have heard today inspire you to join us in helping CFH reach their $185,000 fundraising goal. Congregations for the Homeless dares to dream big, and it is your support that is key. If you haven't already done so, please give by going to the link you see below. Now here are some of my favorite friends and men served by CFH who would like to say thank you.
You made a big change in my life, and for that I'm grateful. Thank you, CFH. Thank you.
Thank you, CFH.
Thank you, CFH.
Thank you, CFH. It's been a real blessing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, CFH.
Thank you, CFH.
Thank you, CFH.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending this virtual version of the annual Congregations for the Homeless Luncheon. We are so grateful you have joined us today to make a difference in the lives of so many men. One final reminder about the link below to make your gifts today. You still have time to help us hit or exceed our $185,000 goal. We're grateful for your continued generosity and compassion for CFH. Thank you.